In today's world, respect is something we all crave. Yet, how often do we find ourselves frustrated, misunderstood, or even belittled by those around us? What if you could break free from those feelings? Feelings of unfair judgment, of being looked down upon, and instead become someone truly admirable, a person others naturally respect and value. But the real question is, how do we achieve that? Respect isn't just about how others treat us. It's also about how we conduct ourselves. When you take the time to respect others, by listening, by understanding, and by embracing their differences, you create a foundation for the respect you in turn receive. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "We cannot control the impressions others form of us, and the effort to do so only debases our character." Let those words sink in. True respect starts from within. It's not something we demand. It's something we earn through strengthening our values and our actions. In this video, from Stoic Echoes US, we're going to uncover the 7 secrets to becoming the most respected person through Stoic philosophy. But these are more than just lessons about respect. They're timeless principles about building lasting, meaningful relationships and living with integrity, even in the complexity of the modern world. So stay with us. Let's dive in together and uncover how you can take control of your life and inspire the respect you truly deserve. Lesson 1. The power of dropping complaints. Let's be honest, complaining can feel like second nature. It's something we do almost impulsively, often without even realizing how much it affects us and those around us. It might start with a minor gripe about traffic, the weather, or the imperfections in our lives. For many, complaining becomes an easy way to bond with others over shared frustrations or mutual dissatisfaction. But have you thought about this? How is this habit truly influencing your mindset, your relationships, and even how others perceive you? Complaining doesn't just exist in the moment it lingers, it festers. It weakens both your mental and emotional well-being. And let's face it, it solves nothing. When was the last time airing your frustrations actually made a situation better? I remember a friend of mine who was always venting. Absolutely everything was a complaint: the work, her family, her relationships. It seemed endless. No matter how much support or advice I gave, it was never enough. Every conversation left me drained. Instead of feeling connected to her, I noticed myself pulling away. And here's the thing, it wasn't because I didn't care. I cared deeply. But the cycle of negativity became too heavy. Have you ever experienced this? Maybe you know someone like this, or maybe you've caught yourself being that person. Complaining spreads negativity like wildfire. It pulls you into a downward spiral. And worse, it takes everyone else down with it. When this becomes a pattern, people start associating you not as someone who uplifts, but as someone who drains. Is that how you want to be remembered? The truth is, life isn't easy for anyone. Everyone is carrying a battle you cannot see. Complaining about your burdens might feel good at the moment, but it doesn't earn you the empathy or respect you're hoping for. What people around you truly need is someone who brings light, someone who offers clarity, someone who creates a space where others feel less overwhelmed. Could you be that person? Breaking the habit of complaining isn't easy, but it is possible. It starts with you, shifting your perspective. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking yourself, "What can I do to change this?" Or perhaps even simpler, "How can I respond constructively?" When you focus on solutions instead of frustrations, something incredible happens. You take back control over your emotions, over your actions, over your life. Challenges stop defining you. They start empowering you. Of course, we all have bad days, that's human. But the next time you feel the urge to complain, pause. Take a breath choose a better response. Remember, complaining is the easy way out. Building a positive mindset, that takes strength. It's not about pretending life is perfect, it's about finding opportunity in the struggle and inspiring others to do the same. Let me ask you this. What kind of energy do you want to bring into your life and into the lives of others? Complaining might feel natural, but it's positivity and action that truly transform your world. Choose wisely. So, here's the takeaway. Complaints are heavy. They weigh you down, and they weigh down everyone around you. Instead, be a source of light. Seek solutions. Spread optimism. When you do, you won't just change yourself, you'll change how others see you. Choose to speak with purpose, act with clarity, and most importantly, live with intention. Life is too short for complaints. What will you do with yours? Lesson 2. Break free from the poverty trap. Have you ever felt like you're not getting the respect you truly deserve? Maybe you've wondered, is there something I'm missing financially, spiritually, or even in my actions that's holding me back? Respect is not something others simply offer. It starts from within. It's a quality that takes years to build, but can vanish in moments due to small mistakes or bad habits. Every decision, every action, shapes how others see you. The habits you embrace each day, both good and bad, carry monumental significance. Respect isn't achieved through shortcuts, luck, or surface-level effort. It's created by living with integrity, maintaining discipline, and holding fast to your core values. And yet, have you considered how small, seemingly insignificant actions can dismantle years of progress? A lie, a broken promise, impatience, or irresponsibility can destroy the trust and respect you've worked so hard to build. From there, earning it back becomes an uphill climb. Let's face a hard truth. People judge us by how we act and how consistently we keep to our word. Daily habits like procrastination, avoidance of responsibility, or carelessness often lead others to overlook or even disregard us. Have you wondered, are any of these habits holding you back? Sometimes, it's not about what we're doing intentionally, but what we fail to notice in ourselves. To build lasting respect, we must bridge the gap between how we want to be seen and how we're truly living. Stoic philosophy offers us powerful insights into this journey. The more we commit to controlling our reactions and not external events, the more we align our actions with the respect we seek. Breaking free from what's often called the poverty trap isn't just about wealth. Poverty, in this context, is much more than financial struggle. It's a mindset, a lifestyle, a way of seeing yourself and the world that invites judgment and limits opportunity. Often, society equates poverty with failure, laziness, or lack of effort. And while that perception is deeply flawed, it's what many people see first. To escape this stigma, transformation begins not with material change, but with a mental shift. How do you think about your potential? How are your daily behaviors reflecting your personal goals? True freedom from this poverty lies in challenging and reshaping how you live and think. Think about this. Success doesn't come from one dramatic leap. It comes from the accumulation of small, consistent actions. Escaping a poor mindset means reframing your habits and focusing on your growth step by step. Maybe it's waking up earlier to tackle your priorities instead of putting them off. Maybe it's keeping promises to yourself about reading, saving, or learning instead of falling into old routines. By consistently nurturing growth-oriented habits, you start to improve how others perceive you and, more importantly, how you see yourself. Think of Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher whose life was a testament to resilience and self-mastery. Born into slavery and enduring immense suffering, including permanent injury, Epictetus refused to let his circumstances define him. He didn't give in to self-pity. Nor did he allow anger or frustration to control him. Instead, he turned inward, recognizing that, while he couldn't control the cruelty of his master, he had absolute authority over his mindset, his responses, and his character. Through this undying commitment to control his inner world, Epictetus rose above unimaginable odds. He cultivated values, sharpened his intellect, and ultimately became one of the greatest philosophers of his time. If Epictetus could rise above such adversity, what shifts could you make in your life today? What mindset could you transform to change how you're seen in the eyes of others? And, more importantly, how you see yourself. The lesson is simple, yet powerful. Respect begins with self-work. Start with the smallest habits, become consistent. Act with integrity, maintain your discipline. In everything you do, it's not about suddenly climbing to the top. It's not about impressing anyone. It's about showing up every day as the best version of yourself by shifting your perspective and aligning your actions. You'll not only escape society's judgments, but also discover a deep, enduring sense of self-respect. Let me ask you this. What's one daily habit holding you back? And what's stopping you from changing it today? Your future respect and the life you deserve can be earned one small, intentional step at a time. Lesson 3. Honor your promises. Keeping a promise is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to build trust and respect in any relationship. And yet, how often do we truly reflect on the weight of our words? A promise isn't just something we casually say, it's a bond, an unspoken agreement made with another person that ties us to them through trust. When we make a promise, whether personal or professional, we set an expectation, a belief that our actions will match our words. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said it best. First, say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. His words remind us that promises aren't just about others. They're about us too. They reflect our integrity, our character, and our values. When you keep a promise, you strengthen that bond of trust. But when you break it even unintentionally, you risk damaging relationships, sometimes beyond repair. Think about the disappointment you feel when someone fails to follow through on their word. That sting of broken trust doesn't just vanish, does it? Now, ask yourself, how often do you live up to the promises you've made to others? Let me share a story. A father promises his young daughter that he'll make it to her school play after work. The little girl practices her lines for weeks, excited, knowing her dad will be in the front row. But when the day arrives, caught up in work, he doesn't show. His excuse might seem valid. I was busy. I'll come next time. But that small promise meant everything to her. And now, next time doesn't carry the same weight. Over time, repeated broken promises, whether in family life, friendships, with colleagues, or even to yourself, create disappointment. And worse, they create distrust. No one wants to feel like their faith in you was misplaced. So ask yourself this: do you ever underestimate the impact of your words? In both personal and professional relationships, honesty and reliability are the pillars of respect. Think of your promises like seeds, small commitments planted in the soil of trust. Over time, those seeds need your effort, your consistency, and your honesty to grow into deep-rooted respect and admiration. But if those seeds are neglected, if your words are empty, they wither. And when they do, the trust others have in you withers too. Small lies, broken commitments, or failing to deliver even on small tasks can begin to chip away at how people see you. And it's not just your relationships that suffer. The reputation you've built takes a hit. And rebuilding it, that's a tough uphill climb. The truth is, respecting others begins with respecting your own words. It's not about perfection. Everyone makes mistakes. But when you make a promise, you owe it to yourself and the other person to treat it with care. A fulfilled promise shows responsibility and self-discipline. An unfulfilled one, it calls your reliability into question. Take a moment to reflect. Do you still trust someone who constantly breaks their promises to you? Probably not. And if that's true, we must hold ourselves to the same standard. Respect and trust aren't built with words alone. They are built with consistent action and follow-through. Here's the challenge for you. Start seeing your promises as opportunities to demonstrate your honor and your values. Each promise kept strengthens your credibility. Each one deepens the relationships you care about most. But before making a commitment, pause. Ask yourself, can I uphold this? It's far better to say no than to overpromise and underdeliver. Respect is earned step by step by showing up and following through. So, what promises have you made recently? And more importantly, how will you ensure they're fulfilled? Your actions and your consistency hold the key to becoming someone others trust, admire, and respect. Because the power to keep a promise is the power to build an unshakable foundation of integrity in your life. Lesson 4. Don't always be available to people. Do you ever find yourself saying yes to every call, every message, or every request, no matter how inconvenient? Maybe your phone rings and you drop everything to pick it up. A notification pings and you immediately respond. Someone asks for your help, and before they even finish explaining, you're already agreeing. Does this sound familiar? While being available to others is a wonderful quality, it shows kindness and reliability. It can come at a cost. If you're always available, over time, people start to take your presence for granted, assuming you'll always be there whenever they need you. No matter how caring or well-intentioned you are, being constantly present can make others view your time and energy as less valuable. The truth is, when something is overly accessible, like a stream that flows endlessly, it might feel convenient, but it isn't appreciated. In contrast, a diamond, though far from essential, is valued because of its rarity. Here's where Stoic wisdom sheds light on this matter. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, advises, withdraw into yourself as far as you can, associate with those who will make a better man of you, welcome those whom you yourself can improve. The process is mutual, for men learn while they teach. His message is simple. Know when to engage with others and when to hold back. Limiting your availability doesn't mean you stop caring. It means prioritizing wisely and preserving your energy for relationships and moments that truly matter. Let me give you an example. Imagine a colleague who is constantly available to cover other people's work at the office. At first, everyone might appreciate their willingness to help, but over time, they treat it as a given. They stop acknowledging the effort and even start expecting it. Meanwhile, the person's own workload and goals are neglected, leaving them overworked and undervalued. Can you relate to this in some area of your life? People with clear boundaries and control over their time are respected because scarcity creates value. Setting boundaries, however, is no easy task, especially for those who feel guilty saying no. It's common to think that always being there for others or taking on every request will strengthen relationships or earn respect. But the opposite is often true. Respect isn't earned by saying yes to everything. It's earned when you have self-control, when you know your limits, and when you use your time wisely. Trying to be everything to everyone will only drain you, leaving little energy or space for the things and people that truly matter. So how can you master the word no without losing your warmth and generosity? It starts by recognizing your own value. When you understand your worth, you'll feel less compelled to please everyone. By showing up less often, you naturally become more sought after and appreciated. People will respect your time because you decide how and when to give it. Take a moment to reflect. Have you noticed times when being overly available has led others to take you for granted? How often have you overextended yourself, trying to meet everyone's needs, while neglecting your own? The lesson is clear. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They're guideposts to help you focus your energy on what truly matters. When you learn to set limits and say no to the things that don't align with your priorities, you'll not only protect your time and well-being, but you'll also increase the respect others have for you. Remember, it's not about withdrawing completely. It's about ensuring that your presence is meaningful when you do show up. Scarcity creates value. By managing your time and availability wisely, you communicate that your time is precious not just to others, but to yourself. So, where in your life can you step back, set boundaries, and create more value for your presence? The power is yours. Use it wisely. Lesson 5. The freedom of saying no. Saying no isn't easy, is it? For many, it feels like rejecting someone or letting them down. But the truth is, every time you say yes to something unimportant, you might be saying no to something that truly matters. Think of your life as a garden. Each tree represents something in your life: a commitment, a relationship, a task, or a goal. Over time, as new responsibilities and duties are added, this garden becomes crowded. Without careful pruning, the weeds, those unnecessary distractions and obligations, start taking over, stealing space, and suffocating the flowers and fruit you'd hoped to grow. These weeds aren't always intentional. Sometimes they sprout from carelessness, misplaced priorities, or the inability to say no. Have you ever felt like your life is so full of must-does that there's no room left for the things you actually want to do? This is where the power of saying no comes in. It acts like a pair of scissors, giving you the chance to clear what doesn't serve your purpose and make space for what does. Think about the times you've said yes to things, not because you wanted to, but because you didn't want to disappoint someone. At first, it might seem harmless, even kind, but over time, constantly agreeing to everything can leave you feeling drained, stuck, and even resentful. And it's not just about the energy and time you lose. It's the realization that your life no longer feels like it belongs to you. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." These words remind us that life is too short to waste on things that weaken your focus or pull you away from the values that mean the most to you. Every time you say yes without careful thought, you're letting someone else dictate your priorities, leaving your most important goals and relationships in the shadows. Does this sound familiar to you? Learning to say no isn't just about protecting your time and energy. It's also a way to gain respect from both others and yourself. When you say no thoughtfully, it's not a rejection of the person making the request. It's an act of self-respect and a way to stay true to your values. In fact, constantly saying yes can even diminish how others value your help. When people notice you can't say no, they might start expecting your assistance without truly appreciating it. And the value of your time slowly decreases in their eyes. Have you ever felt like someone only asks for your help because they know you'll say yes whether you want to or not? This is why setting boundaries and saying no wisely is so important. It helps others see that your time and energy have value. So how do you start saying no without feeling uncomfortable or guilty? The answer lies in knowing your worth. When you understand your value, you'll feel less compelled to please everyone. By showing up less often, you'll naturally become more sought after and appreciated. People will respect your time because you decide how and when to give it. Take a moment to reflect. How many times have you overcommitted to things you didn't truly want to do? What would it feel like to finally say no and reclaim that space for something that's really meaningful? Here's the lesson. Saying no isn't selfish, it's necessary. It clears the path for you to focus on your values, your goals, and the things that bring true fulfillment. By saying no to what doesn't serve you, you create the freedom to say yes to what does. And in doing so, you not only protect your time and energy, but you also build greater respect both from others and from yourself. So, where in your life today can you start using the power of saying no to create more space for the things you genuinely care about? The power is yours. Use it wisely. Lesson 6. Strength in asking for help. How many times have you hesitated to ask for help or share your struggles because you were afraid of what others might think? It happens more often than we realize, both at work and in our personal lives. We hold back, fearing judgment, and in doing so, we forfeit growth and deeper connections. But let me ask you this. How often have you felt relieved when someone else had the courage to ask the question you were too afraid to ask? Their bravery to seek clarity or speak the truth probably eased your own hesitation, didn't it? This courage to ask for what you need or admit your limits is an overlooked strength. It can transform your relationships and open doors to growth. Think of the timeless story of the emperor's new clothes. The emperor, out of pride and fear of appearing foolish, marches through town in nothing but invisible clothes, while the crowd remains silent, fearing judgment. Except for one child. The child, without hesitation, speaks the truth. The emperor isn't wearing anything at all. That's the kind of courage we need today. The willingness to speak up for clarity, to admit what we don't know, and to confidently ask for help when we need it. One of the biggest myths we believe is that asking for help is a sign of weakness. But let me tell you something. The opposite is true. Some of the strongest people you'll meet are those brave enough to admit they need support. They don't see it as failure or a lack of ability. They see it as part of growth. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." Similarly, strength isn't built on stubborn independence, but on knowing when to reach out for guidance. When you ask for help, you're not only showing humility, you're demonstrating confidence in yourself. It says, "I'm willing to learn and grow." This vulnerability strengthens relationships because it shows you value the insights, wisdom, and perspectives of others. Think of a time when you sought advice from a friend, mentor, or colleague. Didn't that decision require courage and respect for their knowledge? And didn't it strengthen your connection with them, knowing they felt trusted and valued? Asking for feedback is much the same. It's not just about improving yourself, it's about creating bonds of mutual respect. For example, if you're tackling an important project and you ask a trusted colleague for their input, you're sending a clear message. I value your opinion. That act of openness builds trust and a foundation of understanding. Here's the key. People respect those who can listen to feedback, even constructive criticism, without letting their egos stand in the way. The ability to take feedback gracefully, even when it challenges you, demonstrates maturity, emotional intelligence, and strength. How often have you seen someone handle criticism calmly and thought to yourself, "That's someone I truly admire"? Great leaders understand this value. They know that asking for help or feedback isn't just about their own growth, but also about empowering the people around them. By admitting you don't have all the answers, you give others the chance to step up, contribute, and shine. This collaboration strengthens relationships, builds respect, and fosters trust. And remember this: respect never comes from trying to appear perfect. It comes from showing a willingness to learn, to grow, and to work together. When you listen actively, apply feedback, and strive to improve, you elevate not just yourself, but your entire team, family, or community. So, where in your life could you truly benefit from asking for help or seeking feedback? What possibilities might open up if you chose courage? Lesson 7. Genuine respect through understanding. Treating people how they want to be treated is more than just common courtesy. It's a behavior that can set you apart and make you truly stand out in the eyes of others. Whether you're facing a demanding project at work, navigating a heated argument with your partner, or trying to keep peace during a tense family dinner, staying composed is only part of the equation. Real respect comes when you take the time to understand others, to see what they truly need, and treat them in a way that aligns with their values, not just your own. Many people live by the mindset, treat others the way you want to be treated. But pause for a moment and think carefully. Is your idea of respect the same as theirs? Everyone has their own unique experiences, backgrounds, and preferences. So, how can we assume that what works for us will work for them? Let's say you're managing a diverse team at work. One team member from Japan values humility and politeness. Meanwhile, another team member from the United States appreciates directness and straightforwardness. If you communicate with both of them in the exact same way, based solely on your personal style, it's easy to unintentionally offend one while confusing the other. The Japanese colleague might interpret your directness as rude. The American colleague might see your politeness as insincere. True respect isn't about treating others by your own standards. It's about recognizing their differences, listening to what matters to them, and adapting your approach accordingly. Stoic philosophy reminds us that while we can master our own emotions, understanding the emotions and needs of others is just as crucial. It's not about putting your ego at the center. It's about caring for others in a way that respects who they are. Think about this in your daily life. You walk into your regular coffee shop and notice the server, who's usually cheerful, seems off. They're rushed, frowning, and less attentive than usual. At that moment, you have two options. You could demand quick, professional service, frustrated that their usual vibe is missing. Or you could take a step back, recognize their situation is likely out of your control, and choose to show kindness. A warm smile and a genuine thank you might seem small, but those actions can transform the moment for them and for you. It's not about dismissing your needs as a customer. It's about showing understanding and connection. Actions like these not only relieve tension, but elevate you in the eyes of others. They see someone who values them as an individual, not just as a transaction. Here's the truth. Respect isn't a trade where you give some and expect it back instantly. It's a process founded on mutual understanding and kindness. People won't respect you simply because you demand it. They won't respect you just because you think you deserve it. They respect you because you've shown that you understand them, that their perspectives, that their differences matter to you, and that you genuinely value the relationship. So, I challenge you to look at your daily interactions more closely. Ask yourself, are you really treating people the way they want to be treated? Where could you listen more, Where could you adjust your approach and build deeper connections? The key to genuine respect isn't perfection. It's a willingness to step outside of yourself and truly see others. By practicing this, you can build relationships that are not just meaningful, but lasting. Don't wait for respect to come to you. Earn it by showing that everyone you interact with matters. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the 7 secrets to becoming the most respected person through Stoic philosophy. By applying these lessons in your daily life, you'll discover not only greater composure in the face of challenges, but also deeper, lasting respect from those around you. Remember this: true strength lies in controlling your reactions, not in trying to control others. Which of these lessons do you find the hardest to apply? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, share it with your friends, and help them grow alongside you. Don't forget to subscribe to Stoic Echoes US and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on our next video about applying Stoic philosophy to modern life. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.